What's good, y'all? Reginald IQA Williams, aka the Future Planner. What I want to talk about in this video is the reason why I tell people to make plans for your life. Don't let life make plans for you. Okay, I found myself a lot thinking that, a lot of people, every time I talk to people about what I'm doing, or even in the past when I used to tell my friends and families what I'm about to do, for some reason they would have a different opinion about it, and they would tell me things like, well, I don't think that's going to work because I didn't, I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen, this, that, blah, blah. They would say a lot of negative things about it because they couldn't achieve it. But as I look around, I see a lot of other people achieving it. So I say to myself, how are they doing it? So if someone is putting into your head that you should be this, or you should go to college, or you should be in this type of religion, and you follow it, that's an example of life making decisions for you. Because anything in life that is jumped into your head and then you follow it, instead of you making your own decision of what you want to follow, that's life making plans for you. For example, when we go to school, elementary, middle school, high school, they're preparing you to go to college, or they're preparing you to be able to work for somebody for a living. That's an example of life making plans for you. When you go out and get a job, they tell you how much you can make. They put a cap on how much you can make or whatever, and they tell you the hours that you're allowed to work. They tell you what time, or they give you your schedule where you should be here, when you shouldn't be here. You cannot take vacations when you want to. You can only take vacations after your year being here, or you can't call in sick so many days and things like that. You're not allowed to make your own choices. These are the choices that we're going to make for you on your job. That's an example of life making decisions for you, making plans for you. So the way you want to make plans for yourself is to figure out what is your passion. What do you like to do? And find out how you can make a living off of it. Once you start figuring it out, what you want to do, you get the knowledge and the education of how you can do it, and then you start branching out on your own, and then you start making a decent living for yourself. That's an example of you making plans for your life. Okay, so for example, you might be on a job or something like that, and your job right there at the time is making plans for your life already. But when you start changing your thinking, then that's when you say to yourself, okay, I'm finna start to make plans for my life right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna branch out on my own, and I'm gonna form my own team, form my own corporation, form my own way of living. That's an example of you making plans for your life. And then when you put it into perspective, you put it into play, and then you everything runs smooth. You're running your own life. That's a great prime example of you making plans for your life and making decisions on your own. But when you have somebody else that's in your ear telling you need to be this, this is not going to work, and you follow it, that means that is an example of life making plans for you. Because people, vehicles, or other tools that has your mindset, they're controlling your life. So that's basically the reason why I tell people that it's best for you to take advice, and then you think about it, and then if it makes sense to you, and then you feel like you can make it work, then hey, so be it. But make sure that you allow yourself to have a choice to make, versus just believing or thinking that everything is this and everything is that. Just because this person made it in this profession, or this right here is working in their life, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work in your life. So you have to basically make decisions on what works in your life. So a lot of times I run into people that says, that always ask me, well, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And then when I tell them, they don't actually do it, because they'll start off real good. They'll say, you know what, I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. And then when they start doing it, somebody else comes along in life, or they might see some other tool that's working faster in their life. And then what they do is they get attached to that, or they get attached to what somebody else said, and then they end up giving it up. You know, so once they give it up, they listen to this person, and then they fail. They say, you know what? I should have I should have stuck with what my sponsor said. I should have stuck with what my parents said. You know, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and allow yourself to make mistakes. All right, you can be wise and listen to people who have gone through it, so you can avoid that mistake. But if you really look at how we learn, we usually make mistakes. We usually learn by making mistakes. So once you make mistakes, you'll be able to correct your mistakes, and then you'll be able to start all over again somewhere along the way. That's when you take control of your life. So what you want to do is you want to take control of your life by figuring out what are the benefits of what you're doing and what are the consequences of what you're doing. What are the benefits of what other people are saying? What are the consequences of what other people are saying? That way that you'll be able to make a clean choice for yourself. And then if one thing doesn't work, then okay, well, hey, I already know that this doesn't work. I learned from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make plans to change what I'm doing. For example, if you're in a relationship or something like that with somebody, and you do something that your spouse or your lover or whoever, they don't like, what you do is, okay, I'm going to make plans for my life to change this. But if somebody else, if you got a friend over here that says you ain't got to change that for her, stay yourself, do what you want to do, then basically that's a decision that somebody else in life is making plans for you if you follow it. So basically, that's what I mean when I say those are like some of the examples, and hopefully I explained it very well the way you can understand, and you really relate to what I'm speaking. As far as like when I say make plans for your life, don't let life make plans for you. When I say make plans for your life, make a decision of what's best for your life versus just following what everybody else saying, trying to make plans for your life. You know what I mean? A lot of people try to control people nowadays, and that's the reason. That's what the world feeds off of. But the world really is not a place where most people do not allow themselves to think. You know, we are all individuals. Everyone needs to think for themselves and start making plans for their own life to better their own life versus letting everybody else make decisions for them and planning life for them. Reginald Williams, y'all. Make plans for your life. Don't let life make plans for you. Peace out.